Oh, hey y'all, how's it going? Fatty here, and today I'm going to bring you the top 4 best hidden base locations for larger tribes on the new map Fjord. Now, I'm going to be posting videos every Tuesday and Thursdays, and for the hidden base locations, I'm going to be doing one for solo players, rat holes, and just mega tribes as well. So stay tuned for that, but this one's going to be those for those larger, maybe 4 to 8 man tribes, and let's not waste any more of your time and get straight into it. Coming in at number 4, this one's going to be located at 18.8, 91.7. Now this one is definitely going to be the worst one on the list, but it's also going to be one that might be a little less contested than some of these other major ones, and I always like to put some in there, so if you do watch one of my videos and you're really looking for a base location, at least one of these should not be hidden or taken. But this one is pretty solid. It has a nice entrance. It's a little bit bigger. It's not necessarily a crouch point or anything like that, and it opens up to a decently sized cave, so it's not going to be the easiest to defend. The entrance is a little awkward for people to get into, so fobbing up and actually bringing like stegos and soakers in to try to get through the wall will be a little bit more trickier for the offensive side of things, so it should be a little bit easier for you to defend. Like I said, it's not the greatest spot in the world, but it will definitely do and be a great starter location. If you have a nice tribe and you guys are trying to take over a better spot, kind of starting off, this is going to be a great one just to kind of build in, just to, you know, be able to get those tames to attack like one of the major spots that are going to be on this list. Coming in at number 3, this one's going to be located at 7.4, 39.6. It's going to be right kind of on the edge of the snow biome and kind of where the water is over here. It's a pretty easy one to find. Now this one is going to be by far the largest location on this list. It is just massive, and it gives lots of opportunities to kind of put a different defenses. Also, one of my favorite parts is it's kind of partially in one of these pre-built type structures, and it opens up to more of a cave, so it just has some really cool aesthetics without you having to do anything. So the very first part is this little room, and then it comes to a pretty solid drop off. You got this little spot over here, so it's a great place to put a tech genny. If you're trying to defend up top, you know, you can put some tech turrets and regular turrets up there to kind of defend before you even get to this drop off. Then it's a pretty massive drop off, which is going to make it pretty difficult, especially if you put just a couple turrets kind of down at the bottom or along the sides. Then you're coming to this really small tunnel. It's not going to be big enough at the very first part right there to be able to put a stego. So if you put a small enough wall here, you're going to prevent people from going into the drop off and like just stego rushing a wall. Once you get into that first little part though, you'll be able to get a stego in, so just be careful of that. Then it looks like it's kind of the end over here, but there is a breakable rock. So if you haven't or someone hasn't been in this little area before, you're gonna have to break it down really quick. It's not a huge deal. Just make sure you don't think that this is the very end of it, because there's plenty more of this cave to kind of see. And like I said, those first little areas are great spots to put defenses, but it doesn't even have to be your main defense. And then you kind of come in, you come through this like little level or lava part through this, and then it opens up to a really kind of bright area. This part is not even the biggest part, but it opens up. There's a lot of PvE in here. So in my opinion, I would almost leave this spot just the way it is, put some spam around the sides, but enough just to let those dinosaurs harass. And then you can come down to probably what I would call the main chamber. You do have a little spot where there's ruins that spawn. It's a little drop, and then it comes to this like major drop off. Now down here there is a lot of space, but it's not all very well connected. So it's going to take a little bit of breeding. There is plenty of room down here in the water, as well as a ton of silica pearls kind of throughout here. So if you build up high enough and you're not putting a ton of stuff down here, another ruin over here, you're going to be able to actually farm a decent amount of silica pearls, especially if you're not like on official and you're slightly boosted. You're not going to really have to do a ton of farming if you're just constantly coming down here as soon as they spawn up and just munching them around. It's going to make it pretty easy. Just leave your, angler on cryo down here. It could work out really, really sweet. Then after this area, there is going to be another area kind of up top. Now this is where I'd probably start my build. You just come back here. There's a lot of tames, or not tames, just wild animals, so you're gonna have to kind of take care of that. But when you get back here, it's pretty small, but it's gonna be big enough just to get started, get what you need, and let you just expand out. As well as you can put some turrets and defenses up here kind of as your like last line of defense. So it's going to be a pretty sweet spot. I would definitely keep some of your major stuff out there, then drop down here, and maybe you could put a couple crafting area kind of stuff down here and do some of your taming, and then just kind of expand out. It's a huge cave. It has a lot of really good potential. That's why it's number 3 on this list. Coming in at number 2, this one's going to be located at 91.6, 41.9. Now this is going to be an underwater location that does not require vacuum chambers, which is always one of my favorites. It just makes everything a little bit easier, especially early game when you're trying to get set up, where the offending tribe doesn't really have the chance to get vacuum chambers yet, so you have a little bit of an advantage. This also does have a decently long hallway, so you can put a couple turrets up front a little bit so people can't get in as easily as well before you put up like the main wall that will be kind of right in this general area. Again, there's some ruins in here as well, but it's a pretty cool area. It kind of reminds me of like a geode, like you just swam in and found like an open geode, which I think is just kind of a cool aesthetic. You don't really see it a ton in Ark like this, and it's pretty cool. You got a great spot right there to put your tech generator just to keep it out of line, out of sight. Just made a really nice spot. The only thing I want to talk about with this base location is you do have to worry about LOS. This little front ledge has a few spots where if someone was really good and you didn't set up your turrets right, they might be able to get close and rocket some spots. That would be the number one spot right there. Another spot would be just this general little pool area. So however you set up your turrets, you got to really watch, especially those two locations, so you don't get line of sighted. But other than that, it's going to be a pretty nice spot for you to build in. Coming in at number 1, this one's going to be located at 9.625.0. Now this one's probably my favorite one just because of the aesthetics. It's a really good spot just in general, but the way it looks in the snow biome is just really, really super cool. So it's going to be kind of off in this little original cave kind of looking area, and then it's going to come to a really small point. Now you can't walk stegos through there, but you can get a carbon for sure. But you got this really nice front entrance where you're going to be able to put a lot of turrets, really lock off that general area well. I would almost build it like Snow North on the center when you come up out of the water. How come people put like a little cage around it? That's probably how I would build that one. I think it would just probably be the easiest way. And make sure you don't put your turrets too close, because then otherwise people are going to be able to PT spin it really well. But if you put the right defenses, it should be fine. As you can see, there's a lot of water in here. It's not going to be really deep enough to put like Baleosaurs or Tusos to breed or anything like that. But there are some anglers in there, so starting off early game without you having to go find any, having them really close and available is pretty nice. But like you can see, it's a pretty big area. Then you kind of get back to this last little bit of the cave that was kind of behind the Helm's Deep looking type thing. And it's a pretty decent spot. This back area is going to be a lot harder to build in just because they are so far apart. These little like island hopping kind of areas. But if you do come all the way back, you do get treated with a nice statue of Harambe, rest in peace. And you know, you can put probably your main crafting area back here and some of that, like your war room type of stuff. That just makes it a little bit more defendable. Here's another spot for a rune. So that way, if you have a main teleporter in the other area, you do all your breeding and stuff like that. If you start getting defended, you know, you can grab the stuff out that you need to teleport back there. And it's going to take them a while to get back there just because of how difficult it is to kind of navigate, especially if you have some decent turrets. You know, you can put almost little turret towers on all of those areas so they can't PT spin through it in just like one go. It's going to be a nice spot. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I'll be putting out videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. The next 2 are going to be the best rat hole locations on it and just the most hidden base locations for Fjord. So look forward to that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.